What's up, everybody, and welcome to the NFL Pre-Lock Show for the first time of the 2025-26 NFL season. We made it. We made it through 4 months of Major League Baseball, listening to Davis draft 1,000 teams in best ball all summer long. Like, we made it through WNBA, everything. We're here.
Yeah, great season in the W, Chop. Great season in the W. A lot of baseball. We made it. We made it, and we deserve it.
And joined on the very first show of the year. Got a spectacular crew here. Noto, I'm gonna start off with Noto here. Noto joins us. He's a legend. We used to have a little podcast called the OGs. That got canceled because things happen financially. They couldn't afford it no more. That's all right. But Noto, you're joining me, man, for the NFL Showdown for the first one of the year. How you feel?
Yeah, the OG show was just too popular. They couldn't afford us, so they had to scrap it. But yeah, doing good. Life's changed for me. Got a new baby, so that's been a lot of fun. And yeah, it's been too long since I've done a show with you, Chop, and Davis. I've been wanting to do one with you forever, for 10 plus years. So pumped to be on here and let's break down the game.
Yeah, and third man on this 3-man booth is a little discrepancy backstage. I thought the man was a Cowboy fan. He done sold out and went the other way, and he's chasing Mahomes' tail right now. But that's all right. It's Davis Mattek. Right. We always like it. I'm glad we could pull you away from your vested interest there in watching our boy Overzet on YouTube, right? Like you're all into it, man.
Dude, I mean, this guy's on the NFL set with Derek Carr, Tyrann Mathieu, and Brandon Marshall, man. So
they're just human. They're just people, Davis.
They're just people, bro. They're just people.
He wishes he could be here.
Yeah. He wishes he could. It's true. It's true. He really does want to talk about Kevontae Turpin right now. I know he does.
Yeah, I mean, we got it, guys. We're here, man. We made it. We plowed through a long summer. We finally got some real NFL football coming up on us tonight and this weekend, and so it's going to be a blast, guys. As always, we're going to take you up. I don't even know. We got the TJ. You have to hit me up in the private chat. If we go, I don't know if we go to lock or not on this, but we're here for a while, and we're going to discuss the entire player pool, everything you need to know. At the end of the night, I'm going to give you the Plums play of the night. So, I feel it in the Plums play of the night. That's always a popular thing here with the people. And what I really want to do after we discuss some of the players a little bit, we really want to hit up the chat. Like, if you got questions, fire them off. That's what we're here to answer all the way up until lock. We got another 46 minutes till this thing kicks off. So long time. So, yeah, we'll do that. So while we're here and we're going to wait for some questions to come in, let's just discuss this game in general real quick. I'll start off with Davis. We had a spirited discussion pre-stage. I think a lot of people are leaning towards the Philly blowout here. Once the Micah Parsons trade came down the pipe, he was like, oh, Dallas is cooked. Dallas is washed. The spread jumped. I haven't heard one analyst out there talk about the Cowboys being able to win this game. How do you see this thing playing out in general terms?
I mean, I don't think I'm in a contest where you have to pick every game against a spread. Like I wouldn't drive across the border and go bet Cowboys plus 8.5, but I took the Cowboys side. 8.5 is a lot of points for a healthy version of the Cowboys team. Now, if we start getting cluster injuries for the Cowboys, offensive line, Pickens gets banged up, Lamb gets banged up, totally different team. The thing that I like for the Cowboys here, I actually think Schottenheimer is not going to be a dinosaur about the offense. I think he understands his running backs are terrible. I think their plan is to come in 40 dropbacks, 45 dropbacks. I was looking at ownership stuff. I mean, I think CD should be more popular in the captain than Hurts. It's not even close. Like Hurts will be almost double. Hurts will be almost double Lamb in the captain. Looks like Pickens is going to be like 5%. Ferguson, maybe 2%. I mean, Jake Ferguson, like in his 90th percentile tonight, he could catch 10 passes. If they are just dropping back, and the way Philly rushes the passer is they leave the middle of the field a ton because they really crash hard on those edges. It's going to be like, and Dak has to play well. Like if Dak does not play well, then it could kind of get insane. But if Dak like plays within himself and does well, I mean, I think he could like really have like 55 dropbacks here.
We'll address some of those things you just mentioned in a moment. I'd like to go to Derek and see his macro view of this game. How do you think this thing plays out, Derek?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Davis, and I think the Cowboys just going to air it out. I'm not sure how competitive they're going to be. I'm kind of with the herd on this one. I'm kind of thinking the Eagles run away with this one, just because I think they're going to be able to run the ball all night long. One of the best, rushing offenses in the league. And then look at Dallas; they were already bottom 3 run defense. Get rid of Micah. I don't know how they're going to stop Saquon and company. I kind of like some Will Shipley action tonight, but we can get there when we get there. And then, to Davis's point, I mean, the middle of the field is kind of where you want to attack Philly. So I think Dak running most of his routes from the slot, I think he's going to be, CD in the middle of the field. I think he's going to have a big game. Eagles gave up the 7th highest target share to slot receivers last year. So I think it's going to be a big CD game. But I want to note on Dak's price. I mean, $9K, I can't remember like a good starting quarterback being that cheap in Showdown for quite some time. So I think he's interesting. Obviously doesn't have the rushing upside like he used to, but certainly a couple interesting plays there.
What if, just hypothetical here, what if Javonte Williams is actually back to his old self, like he was pre-injury, which when he was like, I know, Davis, you said he's a bad running back last year. What if the injury?
Oh, year before too.
Yes, that's when some guys take 2 years. Some guys, nobody hardly ever comes back the next year. It usually is like a 2-year injury for those kind of things.
He did the second year. We're year 3 now.
But hear me. I know this is year 3. Now listen. Would you agree that his rookie year coming in prior to the injury, he was a very good running back?
I would agree. He was a really good running back in North Carolina. I wouldn't give him. I wouldn't give him that good. 46% success rate as a rookie on like a not that bad Denver team. The advanced stuff is like fine.
What? Sean Payton was not there yet. Do you remember the head coach?
I guess it was. You're right. It was worse. Javonte is just one of those guys. I think the thing that really got me off the Javonte thing was Ben Gretsch writes this article called Stealing Signals that if you guys are really getting into the granular data, you should check out. And he just made this point that when a running back plays all these snaps, and Javonte, far and away led the Denver Broncos backfield in snaps last year, but they never gave him the ball. That's like being like Patrick Ricard, it's just like, you're just out there to fill a space basically. And that's what Javonte Williams did for the Broncos last year. Now, the whole field feels the way I do. I don't think I've ever seen a starting running back priced this low with this low of an ownership projection. Now, probably when ownership projections get reran with Blue and Active, he'll come up a little bit because he's going to be projected for maybe 1.5 points more. But man, if Dallas wins this game, we're talking Javonte will probably be, what do you think he'd be, 4% owned in the flagship on DraftKings and the captain, something like that. I mean, really, really light. I got no interest in it, but you're playing for first or last, Javonte is like the easy, like you don't even have to think about how easy of an angle that is.
I just think it's bizarre that you've had so many opportunities to upgrade the running back room and you've been watching him all summer and you just never did. Guys were getting cut from, the 53 man a week ago and could have put a claim in on a number of guys who were draft picks earlier, in April. There was a lot. And now tonight, you just seemingly Jaden Blue's healthy and he's the explosive guy. And man, I wanted to see him. I really wanted to see him tonight. But, he's over his ankle and he's a healthy scratch. Like, what are they seeing that we're not? Because either they're seeing something in Javonte or you're right. They're going to just drop Dak back 50 times, and that's going to be that. But even if that was the case, you would make Jadon active. He's a great pass catcher out of the backfield. Why wouldn't you use him as a pass? I just think it's bizarre. I think there's a chance Dak drops back 50 times, and that's the game plan. There's a chance they brought in Mr. Clayton Adams from Arizona, who really constructed a really fine running game with James Conner over there, as an offensive line coach recently. And so maybe he's going to power run it. And they brought in Connor Riley from Kansas State, the offensive coordinator, as their offensive line. Davis, I'm telling you, maybe there's something to this. I don't know. We're going to get into it here. Let's talk about some quarterbacks. Real quick. We're going to breeze through the players, guys. Fire off the questions, and we'll get to them here in a minute. I'll start off with Noto. We got Hurts, we got Prescott. There seems to be like a one-way street here, and there's really nothing else stemming from it. Hurts is your runner. He's going to get the tush push, all that, and Dak's going to drop back a bunch because they're going to be playing catch up with a terrible defense. That's not just the narrative. That's what like 90% of the field thinks. What do you think about these quarterbacks?
Yeah, love them both. I think if you're playing single entry, small field stuff, you just lock in both. Whether you use them at captain, I prefer Hurts at captain over Dak just because you get that running upside, you get the tush push. It's a game where he could easily run it in 2 or 3 times, so he can get there without bringing his receivers along with him. While Dak, more of a pocket passer, if he goes nuts, then one of his receivers is probably going to outscore him. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. I'm going to play both in my main lineup. And then TJ made a good point, Javonte being a really good pass blocker. So maybe that's, kind of going with the narrative that the Cowboys going to drop back a bunch. But
so is Sanders. So is Hunter Lupke. Hunter Lupke is 230 pounds. Hunter
Don't
Lupke
sleep on Hunter. Don't sleep on Hunter.
Hunter Lupke is honestly like a very secret play for the slate. But who's the most secret play, Noto? Whole Kevontae Turpin.
Okay.
If I was gonna lock one guy in 150, I would lock Turpin in the flex. I'm not gonna do it, but I put my 150 set in and I bumped his projection way up just like 10 minutes ago because I think he's the biggest beneficiary of Blue being out.
There's something to Hunter. Yeah, I think Schottenheimer's always kind of had a man crush on him, so I think there's something there for sure. I definitely. In those large fields, I think Hunter Lupke is a very interesting play. He is kind of athletic, man. He does have some, he has some possibilities. So I'm with you there. We kind of briefly touched on, we didn't briefly. We touched on a lot of Javonte Williams, and we'll see how that plays out. Start off with Davis here. I want to talk about the Philly Eagles running back. So there's we all know about Saquon. Man, I don't know when I've ever seen so much steam gathered for a backup, like blowout only running back like Will Shipley as the last touchdown scorer. What a great odds on the last touchdown scorer, Will Shipley. I've never seen anybody get blown out of the water.
First text message I read this morning in my group chat was Will Shipley last touchdown 30-1.
It's crazy. Like,
I mean,
you'd rather have.
I like it.
30-1. I'm just saying.
I'd rather have Lupke at 18-1 anytime touchdown. Like,
yeah, you can. I don't know. Both those things can happen.
But I was gonna say that is like a bad bet. He doesn't score once every 18 games, but man, I do like the sound of it.
Well, he's never had Shoddy as a head coach, brother.
It's true.
Well, Shoddy called plays last year.
Yeah,
and the year before.
But now he's the guy who gets to say, "I want Hunter in there." Period. Yeah, I know. But Mike McCarthy was the orchestrator of that offense the last several years. I don't think Schottenheimer I think he had very little input. But talk to me about a Saquon captain role, Davis, or no captain. Can you roster Will Shipley in your flex? How do you feel about him?
I might have even excluded Shipley actually in my stuff because it feels like he gets there so infrequently compared to some of the other cheap guys like Lupke, Turpin, Tolbert, even like Mechie and Dotson, Calcaterra, Brevin Spann-Ford. These guys are going to play the whole game. Shipley will have like 8 plays in the fourth quarter, if anything, as a chance to get there. I even wonder if AJ Dillon plays over him in the first half. Like they're doing like tush push crap with AJ Dillon. Like we really don't know about that distribution yet. And I think Shipley could end up being 15% owned or so in these contests. It just doesn't feel great to me. I'm gonna be underweight on Barkley too because I just think AJ Brown at these ownerships and then CeeDee Lamb at these owners, they both just look better to me.
Noto, how do you feel about this Eagles backfield tonight?
Yeah, I think on paper it's a great spot for him. More than touchdown favorites at home against bad run defense. So I like him probably a little bit more than you guys. I do think Shipley is kind of the sneaky play that ends up being really popular. Everyone thinks they're being sneaky by playing him, and then he ends up just getting a lot of ownership. But yeah, Saquon, I mean, he almost had 380 touches last year. Like, are they just going to give him 25 plus right out of the gate? Or are they going to kind of limit his workload? That's kind of the only reason why I was, leaning towards Shipley in the first place. But now the Jadon Blue's out, I do think I want to have more Turpin than Shipley. But yeah, I think that's a good spot, at least on paper, for the Eagles running backs.
Yeah, and Alex, you are correct. I wouldn't doubt if Nick Sirianni ties his hoodie around his waist. He's a hoodie waist tire, and I do not respect those guys. So yeah, you're right. Let's get to some receivers here. Let's get to some receivers, talk it up, and see what's going on. We kind of talked about AJ a little bit. Start off with Dallas here. Mattek, you got the addition of Pickens, but if you're going to break down this matchup on paper, doesn't seem great for him. The old, Fangio too high. We're just going to keep everything nice and in front of us, play that game. But then you've had all summer to prep for it if you're Dallas, and what are you going to do? Throw a wrinkle in there. But we got a new receiver. We got CD out there in the slot. We've talked about Turpin. I think Turpin's going to be a weapon for these guys. How do you see these guys playing out here, the Dallas wide receivers?
I mean, I do think Turpin is this will be the most snaps in a game Turpin's ever played. I think it sounds like from camp, he beat out Tolbert kind of to be like the complementary piece to Pickens and to Lamb. And I mean, look at this ownership on Pickens, dude. The weak spot, if the Eagles do have one on the defense, is cornerback 2. And one way you can beat the cover 2, I think guys like Joe Flacco, Andy Dalton, Matt Stafford, these guys have shown this great way to beat the cover 2. Just don't be afraid. Trust your arm. Let your guy go up and go get it. George Pickens, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL in contested catches. You go give him a chance to win the ball 40 yards down the sideline. Let the safety make a play. Let the corner make a play. Let him be. It doesn't matter because George Pickens is bigger, stronger, more aggressive than those dudes. I have Pickens overs on all the prop bets. He is my biggest position tonight, George Pickens.
Interesting. You're not scared. You're not scared of are you scared of Mitchell just hanging out there on him all night long?
Well, I think I thought I maybe read he is banged up actually.
No way. No.
Let me see if I can find it.
Is Philly already starting the excuses? Come on, man. While he finds that one, no.
No. I know what I read. It's that Mitchell is an island corner. He stays on the one side.
Yeah.
So you can put Pickens on the other side, and let's put your best guy on their best guy.
We'll see how they play that out. We'll see how Dallas plays that out if they want to. Yeah, we'll see how that works. I want to hear Noto's take on the Dallas wide receivers. You got a favorite?
Yeah, CD's my favorite for sure. Going to be using him a lot at the captain, but I mean, Pickens is going to get his shots. I think they're going to be losing. I think they're going to be playing from behind. They're going to want to get their new guy some looks down the field. So get him away from Mitchell on the other side of the field. I think he's going to get his looks. I love Turpin, and I'm probably not going to be playing a lot of Ferguson. It's a really tough matchup. Eagles, really good against tight ends. At least they were last year. I know we shouldn't put too much stock into last year's metrics, but I just think it's going to be a big CD game, and that's kind of where I'm pushing all my chips in.
Noto, real quick on the Philly side, you typically they're a two-headed monster. I don't know about Godere. When everybody's active, he's not really all that big of a threat. But you got AJ, you got Devontae. You see it playing out to one of those guys being the alpha tonight.
Man, I love AJ, especially now that Diggs is playing. I was kind of hoping he's going to be playing because he likes to take a lot of risks, and I don't think he's that much of a shutdown corner. So give me some AJ Brown. No issue with Devontae. I don't know what his upside is. It feels like AJ Brown, whenever he suits up, he feels like he can get 150 yards and a couple touchdowns. So he's my favorite pass catcher on Philly. I usually don't mess with their wide receiver 3 because he's just out there running wind sprints. It's probably going to be Jahan Dotson in this one. So probably AJ Brown for me.
Davis, a favorite Philly wide receiver?
Yeah, I mean, it's AJ Brown. I will say one thing I did that's different than the field is I actually adjusted Devonta Smith down a little bit because I do think that this is going to be we might see Jalen Hurts complete 14 passes tonight. It might just be this might be his lowest volume passing game, kind of all year. I don't know. dude, if they're just running downhill, because I don't think Dallas can be able to stop the run at all.
Okay. I mean,
I think
No.
Dallas. I'm not gonna say I think Dallas can win, but I think Dallas is the right side to
No.
cover. But if I'm just
We're- I
thinking
mean,
about how this game goes,
we're saying Dallas is going to, push the passing attack. If they're going to score, they're going to keep Hurts involved. So like, I don't know. I know this much. To your point, though, I'm not going to lie. About 2 weeks ago, I was like, oh my God, I already started hammering the Saquon over props for this game.
sure.
Dallas did nothing to address the defensive tackle. You know why? They're going to get stomped this first game. There's nothing here. I don't feel as good about it now after the Parsons trade. That sounds weird, but it's just for my Saquon shares tonight. I don't feel as good about it. I think it's going to be a little bit tougher for Philly to run. Just in general, they're good. They're great. They run on anybody anyway. But I think it's slightly tougher with this new look defensive front as opposed to Micah Parsons out there and what he like. Respectfully to Micah, he's a great pass rusher. Run game is not his specialty. I know the metrics will say he's an okay. He does a lot of olaying in the run game, and that's not what you're supposed to do. I think it's a tougher matchup for Saquon post trade. So I'm a little bit, but I did stock up on him, and yeah, you're right. If they get downhill, it's over with. But speaking of defensive line, I don't know, Davis. What did you make anything of this? I was kind of caught off guard by this inactive Mozzie Smith.
Yeah, Mozzie Smith.
So they've had enough of that.
Dude,
so
this
that
team-
tells me,
This
hey,
team-
that
it's
tells.
just- it's a soap opera, is what it is, man. It's crazy.
No, that tells me. So that tells me they're not just going to, just because he's a first round pick. Man, that guy played on skates, man. He could not hold his ground. I think it's going to be a little bit tougher in the middle
Draft
now.
better then, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, dude. First of all, they do draft the Cowboys.
You know
draft,
what?
the Cowboys draft well.
They do draft well. I'll actually.
Everybody
give
misses.
them that.
Everybody misses, and they do have a special weakness for Michigan defensive linemen when they miss. So that happened, but man, they're not going to put up with it anymore. So I think it's a little bit tougher for Saquon in the middle, but we'll see how that plays out. Guys, fire off those questions because we got 27 minutes till kickoff or till lock. We're going to stick around as long as you got good questions flowing out there. For now, we're going to run through some more players. I'll start off with Davis real quick. The tight end position, we've kind of hit on it, but anything from the tight end position that stands out to you tonight?
I mean, this is the type of stuff you got to know, but I think that they might plan on Brevin Spann-Ford being the second tight end and not Luke Schoonmaker. I think they're annoyed with Luke Schoonmaker because he's basically never been healthy in his Cowboys career. He got injured his rookie year, came back, got injured again. I think that Brevin Spann-Ford is particularly the way that they have him priced. I think Brevin Spann-Ford is $400 on DraftKings, and I think Schoonmaker is $1,800. I mean, that's a pretty significant salary jump. If you just switch those two around in your projections. Now, Spann-Ford is like he is like a total right tackle. Like he went to, he's a Big Ten tight end or whatever. But I mean, so is Schoonmaker. They drafted him high, but he's not any good. So I like that. And I'm not playing any of the backup Eagles tight ends. Goddard is like whatever. Does not feel like the game for him.
No, it just when everybody's active, he just really takes a total back seat in that.
Mm-hmm.
Derek, any tight ends jumping out to you?
6,400 for Goddard just feels like too much for me. And then Ferguson, yeah, I don't like the matchup for him. So I'm probably not going to have any of these tight ends.
Showdown, Derek, kicker. What about the old Brandon Aubrey, who might be the best, probably is the best kicker in the game? What do you think about the kickers tonight? Any interest?
This all depends on how you think the game's going to play out. So if you think the Cowboys are going to be close or playing with the lead, then I certainly think you can play some Brandon Aubrey. I do think he's the best kicker in the NFL. If you think the Eagles are going to be winning, then it's going to be hard for the Cowboys to settle for a lot of field goals and for him to, kind of get there. So this depends on your expected game script. I like Elliott a little bit more because I do think there'll be more field goal opportunities if they are playing with the lead. But yeah, just kind of depends on how you think the game's going to play out.
Davis, kickers and defense. Any interest?
Yeah, I normally when I do an MME set, I normally exclude defenses and kickers from the captain entirely, particularly like in a primetime game. Like, come on, man, let me root for something fun if I'm going to be watching the entire game. I did allow the Eagles defense in captain tonight just because, I mean, shit, dude. Like, this could be a Rams Chiefs. Remember, people forget Rams Chiefs 50, 54, 51. Chiefs defense was in the optimal. Just because when you have that many plays, so many chances for the defense to get points. I'm light on the kickers, though. Really light on the kickers. The Eagles don't kick field goals, and I think the Cowboys are going to be in a position to go for it a lot.
Fair enough, guys. We got about 24 minutes till this thing kicks off. We're going to answer some questions in a minute. I am keeping track of all of them. First, I do want to give you a heads up on the Combo Pro deal at RG for a limited time. You can get your first month for just $79.99. That's only $5 more than the NFL subscription, so you're getting a pretty good deal here. You got that on you. And then you got this Fantasy Labs. Listen, I've been into the Fantasy Labs during the draft season here recently because of Raybon and Corner. I apologize if I butchered it, but he's a really good project. They both project really well. They got the rankings up. Get it on Fantasy Labs. Use the code RG15 for $15 off. Fantasy Labs does have some nice little stuff going on over there. So we got that out of the way, guys. Now let's talk about some questions here. If you got some more questions, fire them off. I'm going to get to them right now. Alex wants to know, Ferguson or Loveland? Oh, this is a season-long question. I'll give you a season-long question, Davis. You're big into that. Ferguson or Loveland in season-long?
Loveland. Not close.
Really? Huh, you don't think Fergie's going to hang? Huh, okay. Yeah, I like that. All right. For tonight, Derek. My man Steve wants to sprinkle in some Ryan Flournoy. Now, he is active, and it only takes one touch, he says. And also somebody else was asking about Flournoy, too. I mean, would you go that far in a showdown?
I don't think you need to. I mean, if you're building 150, I guess you could include him. But I like Lupke at 400 more. We have Spanford projected for a little bit higher at 0.4 fantasy points. So I don't know. I think Lupke is probably my favorite pure punt under 1K.
I agree. I agree with that. I think it's Lupke, then Spanford. I don't think you got to do Flournoy.
He's just like straight up garbage time, right? Like he's not going to be. I mean, I know the fan base likes him, but the fan base doesn't really make the decisions here. Noto, talk a little bit. A question. Talk a little bit about DK Cash because you are a good cash player. How do you feel that construction goes tonight?
Yeah, I think you lock in both quarterbacks. You're probably playing Saquon. And then from there, I mean, it just depends on if you want to take a chance on a cheap Javonte. I would probably rather play CD and then take my chances with two punts like Turpin and Lupke. That's kind of the way I would look at it.
Davis, a prop question for you. Javonte Williams over under his receiving yards.
I actually would be inclined. I think I saw it at 11.5. Like I don't think that is like super bettable, but I'd be inclined to say over because again, my whole thing is like if I was doing projections, like I would have the Cowboys paced up and I would have them like at like a 65-35 pass to run split, which would make all the passing stuff juiced.
Yeah, I just don't think that they're gonna. I'm with you, and I just don't think we're going to see. I just can't see how we see a lot of Miles Sanders. Like, if you want to talk about a guy who's washed, that's a guy who's washed. And then they didn't leave themselves many outs here for a backup on Javonte. So I think he's going to play a lot of snaps tonight, get a lot of action. Whether he's good or not is to be determined, but he'll be on the field a lot. So see how that plays out. I don't know if either one of you guys has any inclination on FanDuel tonight, but do you have a favorite FanDuel captain, Derek?
I haven't looked at their salaries recently, but I would probably just go Jalen Hurts.
Mattek, you got any FanDuel captain that jumps out?
You know what? if you really are feeling the juice for Javonte, that's where you play him. You play him on FanDuel.
Oh, man.
I had Pickens in the expert survey as my favorite contrarian captain. But if you've been listening to Chop and you're like, you know what, I got a fever and the only cure is some Javonte, I would say he's a much better move over on FanDuel. Because on FanDuel, the way the salary works is you're more rewarded for being right, for being contrarian.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think you're talking about a nice little one. What is it? The flagship $9 thing where you're trying to beat out like hundreds of thousands. Yeah, I would agree that's good. Otherwise, if you're in any kind of field where you don't have to be so ambitious. Yeah, I'm with Saquon over there, man. Touchdowns and all that good stuff. We'll see how it plays out. Davis, your favorite captain in DK Cash, plus your first flex that you would follow that up with if you played that guy in captain.
Barkley captain Dak flex, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Noto, you got one of those, a favorite captain and the first flex you would put in off of that guy?
Yeah, I'm going CD captain, Dak flex, but I'm also putting Barkley in that lineup too.
Okay. Question from Derek. I'll start off with Derek. From Derek. DK GPP. He has Hurts, Barkley, and Devontae. Should his last piece be Godere, Elliott, or Mechie? Oh, man. How'd Mechie get in there?
Hurts, Barkley, and Devontae, and who are the three?
Hurts, Barkley, and Devontae. And the last piece could be Dallas Godere, Elliott, or John Mechie.
Probably not Mechie.
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, if you need those three to all have, give me Godere. Goddard.
Mattek, you got an answer to that last piece right there?
Whatever it is, it's not Mechie. If you've got to the John Mechie button, you need to come up for air, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say Elliott. I think Elliott. I mean, Goddard just takes such a back seat, man. When AJ and Devontae Smith are in there, I'd say Elliott just because you never know when a 50-yarder could come out of there. All right, let's see here where we at. Let's I don't know. We want to pull up SimLabs for a minute. We got about 17 minutes till this thing kicks. I'm not seeing any more. Give you one real quick. Sanders or Javonte? Start off, Mattek. Sanders or Javonte?
Javonte.
Yeah.
Javonte. I mean, Javonte's starting. Although, man, again, if you're listening to me and you think Javonte could actually be that brutal, then Sanders is like an in-game leverage play.
How is Sanders not more brutal? I don't even.
He had a higher fantasy points in one game last season than Javonte did in week 18.
Yeah, guys, the fill it in the plums is coming. Let's take a look at SimLabs. Let's run some SimLabs real quick, see what it spits out. What's SimLabs spitting out for us? TJ? Put us on what kind of metrics you using here tonight, Davis, on your SimLabs?
I did really low correlation weight, really low ownership weight. That's almost always how I run it. And if anything, I'll crank the upside weight up a little bit, but I like to run it just kind of closer to the base settings at first, just to get a picture.
Fair enough. When we run it, what are we coming up with here? Run that button, TJ.
We're gonna get a lot of Jalen Hurts, a lot of Saquon Barkley, a lot of Dak, and I bet we're jamming Javonte too. Because the computer sees like, oh, there's a starting running back projected for 11 points. Why is no one playing him? Because the computer can't watch the games, Chop.
I mean, yeah. Well, get ready. It won't be that much longer. They'll be taking over the computer. The AI will be watching the games for us. What do we got here? We got pull me up some exposures on that 150 right there. I like to see what they spit us out with. A lot of Jalen Hurts, a lot of Javonte in there. I like that. Hurts to AJ Brown. A lot of Hurts, almost all Hurts captain. A third of it is Hurts captain. Oh, they did spit you out some Javonte Williams.
I just, buddy, gotta learn how the computer thinks. You can get ahead of it. Yeah,
I like that. I don't mind that, man. You never know what's gonna happen. Noto, what are you seeing in these? You see anything in here you stands out to you? Javonte, you would never play Javonte and captain tonight, right?
I mean, not in the contest that I'm entering, but large field stuff you can run with it a little bit. Do we have any Turpin captain lineups? I want to see what those look like.
Oof.
So, I mean, Noto, I'm sure you run into this, that those don't actually sim that well, because anytime you play the punt captain, it's all the same stuff. And then they don't, because it's punt captain,
And then everyone
high
has
price, Jake Ferguson, right?
Yeah.
So, and then that stuff ends up getting duped. But then if you don't do it that way, then the lineup projects too bad to sim well.
There's a Turpin captain for you. And I think it don't look terrible. I would probably get rid of Devontae and make it a little less chalky just to get off of the rest of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd play Turpin and captain though. Like,
yeah, I was just curious.
I think he's I know. I think he's a great flex tonight. I think I think there's a lot of these Cowboys that we just don't know what this new coaching staff is going to do with them. Like, do they like Hunter Lepke enough to give him some real meaningful touches? How much do they like Turpin? And Turpin did earn. Man, I've seen a lot of Turpin as that third guy to Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. I've seen a lot of that in training camp. So, how much do they like some of these guys? I think that's going to be one way you can figure out what's going on there. We got AK boy Tolbert or Turpin. I'm going to say it's Turpin all the way here, but Davis, you're up on these wide receiver 6s and 7s. What about the Tolbert? Any hope for Tolbert here?
The only reason I would say you should play Tolbert is if the field had like totally forgotten him and treated him like he was for sure the wide receiver 4. But I looked at ownership kind of everywhere and it was all kind of split. Like, I don't think he's going to be like 3% owned. So I think at that point, I'm just taking Turpin.
Fair enough. Steve wants to know, does Dak like Pickens? I think Dak's going to love George Pickens. Dak is a very accomplished downfield thrower of the football, especially if they can get a little bit of play action working, which is why I think maybe just jam Javonte a couple times just to give him a threat of a run. And Dak loves throwing downfield. Tonight, I have my questions because matchups, on one side, you got one of the better young corners in the game. It's a system that does want to keep things in front of you. So I don't know, but I think in general, he does like, I think he does like Pickens, but Davis, DK single entry, Elliott or Turpin?
Turpin. I'm all in, dude. I'm all in. I'm seriously jamming this guy. I like bet his like alt combo yards up to like 55.5. If I'm sticking through this game, I need to have a sick thing to root for.
That's just one little across the middle, hit him in stride, boom, he's off to the races. You're good, man. You're golden there. Noto, you're playing a different type of a game tonight. You're playing much smaller field. In that one, would you go the safety of a kicker like Elliott or Turpin, a guy who could get you a goose egg, but he could do pretty well too?
Yeah, I like Turpin, but that has more to do with the lineup construction that I'm working with. Can't really afford Elliott. But yeah, I like that. For large field stuff, is this crazy? What if we played Eagles defense with the Cowboys onslaught? How many times have we seen Dak throw an early pick 6, Cowboys get down 3 scores, and then he just goes nuts in the second half, and then like Hurts and those guys don't really have to do much? Is it possible?
Mattek, I mean, how's that line of construction strike you?
I think it's fine. I don't know how many times I'll be generating it on my own, but
I mean, it's happened a ton of times. I mean, that's just
with Dak. But my favorite thing is like when my quarterback throws a pick 6, is
oh yeah, and
feels odds of that feel high tonight, frankly.
That's what I'm saying.
We used to love it, rostering the old Jameis against his against his defense, man. That was the best. But we got roughly 10 minutes here before kickoff. I'm not seeing too many questions. I'm not seeing any new questions right now. So with 10 minutes left, let's just get it out the way. Everybody comes here and they want to know. I get a lot of DMs all throughout the summer. When are we going to get to fill it in the Plums? Can't wait for the showdown. Fill it in the Plums. So it's here, guys. It's time. I'm going to start off with Noto here. Noto, your Fill It in the Plums play of the night for week 1 Thursday Night Football. The floor is yours.
Now, can I go chalky here, or do I?
You can do whatever you want, brother.
I just want to lock CD, captain, MVP, all the multiplier spots. That's my Plums play.
That is allowed. That is allowed. Davis, I know you're going to go off the radar because that's your MO. Fill it in the Plums, Davis. Who's your guy tonight that you can't get away from?
George Pickens, 112 yards and a touchdown.
Now, both of you guys just gave Dallas wide receivers. So I find that interesting with Philly being such a big favorite and supposed to dominate this game. Everybody gave a Dallas wide receiver. So I'm kind of pot committed almost here.
Yeah, you have no choice.
I'm kind of pot committed, and I'll probably look foolish. And I was wondering why these guys didn't upgrade the running back room more. I was excited to see Jaden Blue, and I can't believe that he was a healthy scratch tonight. So something fishy is a brewing out there. Something fishy is a brewing. So I'm starting to feel it more and more in my Plums. Javonte Williams is going to do something tonight it's his cost. This is, relative to cost here. And it doesn't cost that much. So we don't need that much. He could get it out of the backfield in the passing game, or he could get the work on the goal line. I mean, there's a lot of avenues for him to get out, in this game. So I'm going Javonte Williams filling in the Plum. I'm not seeing any new questions. So with about 8 minutes left until kickoff, guys, I think we're going to get out of here. So Matt, you got anything for the people before we jump out of here?
Nope. Thank you everyone for having me. Appreciate Chop, appreciate Noto, and feels great to be back. Hope we are treated to a good old ball game.
Noto, any words of wisdom on your way out the door?
No, I hope we can do some more of these together. And yeah, week 1 content, I mean, there's so much of it on RG. Just pull it up. It's probably too much for you to read. But yeah, good luck tonight. Good luck, everybody. Can't wait.
Well, if you want to do it again, we got a game in Brazil tomorrow night. So guys, tune in for that one because I will be back with that one. I think it's with a couple of different guys, but this is the one. This is my Super Bowl, like David said. This is the one I'm waiting for right here. Dallas is going to shock the world. I can't wait. And so I'm going to get out of here and go watch Overzed on some YouTube. Good luck, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy.